Welcome to episode 8.3 of the Grumpy Brothers podcast. I am Chris Ludvigsen, joined by Ted. Say hey, Ted.
Hey, Ted.
Thank you to our listeners. Please subscribe and listen on Apple Podcast, Spotify, or Odyssey. Also, please follow us here on millions.co. Today, we will begin with previewing the college football playoff final being played tomorrow night. And then we move to our NFL playoff review. Before we get to that, Ted, and there is a lot on the plate today.
Yep.
But before we get to that, tell me what's making you grumpy today.
So I think everybody pretty much had some issue on, what was it, Wednesday or Thursday last week when Verizon went down.
Yes.
Stuff happens.
Yep.
Got it fixed within, like 7 or 8 hours,
Something like that. Yep.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So not the end of the world. But then like 2 days on Friday, my wife, we still have a home phone.
So do we.
Yeah.
We're of the age where you have to have a landline.
Yeah. Yeah.
Whether you use it or not.
Right. Well, the only thing that comes in on it usually is scammers and people trying to sell you stuff. So anyway, I would be glad getting rid of it. But so we still have it. And so my wife went to call somebody on it because it is more. I would say that the one advantage of a landline is that they are clearer, usually clearer, and the flow of conversation there's never a delay or anything like that. So I get it, having it. But she went to make some call or something, and it said, "No line." So we thought, "Okay, is something up with Verizon again?" No. So she then gets on her cell phone, and I would say and then they started sending codes to make sure that it was her that would anyway, clearly they don't wanna fix landlines anymore. It was I mean, I was listening to her because I couldn't be bothered.
No.
There's no incoming calls. I'm good. Yeah,
I'm retired. If
I'm
somebody
good.
really needs to find me,
Yeah,
they'll
they'll
find
find
me.
me. They'll find me. Yeah. So, and I don't really want most people to find me. So
That's
I
the
just
reason you're fine with all the phone lines
yeah,
being
right.
down.
Yeah, right. Yeah, I don't care.
Just one less way for you to find me.
Yeah, right. So the I hear her on the phone because she has it on speaker, and it's like 20 minutes of going through various things, and
The
to get
automated prompts.
to get somebody.
Right.
And I'm like, just be done with it and call them up and tell them their line doesn't work and we're canceling our service. And
You'd probably get a
yeah.
call really quickly.
So anyway, somebody finally calls back and they play around, with some things, unplug it, do whatever. So this is Friday, and they said, well, we can have somebody out on Sunday between 8 and 4.
There you go.
Well, how convenient is all that?
I'm just shocked to have somebody coming out on a Sunday, Ted.
They don't.
Ah.
I got a call about an hour ago. They said, "Hey, listen, this Sunday thing's not working for us.
We got football games to watch this
There's
afternoon.
games on. There, it snowed some yesterday, so there's no way that anybody could possibly get out, even though we've scheduled it. There's no way. Could they come tomorrow? I'm like, yeah, fine, whatever. I don't care if they ever come. The only thing I would say is stop sending me a bill. But then the woman says, she goes, well, yeah, they'll be out between 8 and 4. But this is basically outside work. They probably don't even need to come to the house. Okay, then why are you sending me? They've sent me 6 texts to tell me why my wife conveniently put my cell phone on instead of her cell phone on because she didn't want to get the 6 texts that oh great, we're coming out, and respond. They had one that said, we're coming out tomorrow. I got this yesterday. We're coming out tomorrow. Do you need us to keep the appointment? Well, yeah, I got this. Yeah, keep it. Clearly, that didn't matter, you know, because they had no intentions of keeping it because the end of the text says things like, "Is it resolved?" Well, how did I resolve it? You know, yes, I don't want it anymore. But and so now I got a text this morning after the very nice woman apologized profusely for them not being able to come out today and said, you know, we can come out tomorrow. I don't really think you have to be at home, and then I get a text now that says, we made an appointment for you. Do you want to keep it?" It's literally 5 minutes after nothing's changed. Trust me. Come out and fix this, will you? and then and then we'll cancel it. And only then will we cancel.
Well, Ted, when you mentioned the landline, so what went through my mind is when you say a landline, is it actually an old-fashioned landline?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. See, because when we moved into this house over 10 years ago, and people weren't ditching their quote
Yeah, right.
unquote landlines, we did everything through Comcast. We did
Oh,
internet,
yeah, yeah, yeah.
TV,
Okay, yeah, yeah.
and landlines.
Right.
And so, but when you say a landline, it's
Oh,
really
this is from 30 years ago from when
oh,
we moved
okay.
in. Yeah, this is
Oh, okay.
the real deal. Oh, by the way, speaking of that,
See,
remember I
the one
made it.
advantage of that, is if something really goes out for a long time, you do have a way to access the outside world.
Yeah, yeah.
See,
Well, yeah,
with
apparently
our
not.
quote unquote landline, if the internet goes down,
Yeah, but apparently not. Not right now, I don't.
well, but I'm saying with us because
No,
we have everything
I
through
know,
Comcast,
I
but
know.
you have
Yeah,
an old-fashioned landline
yeah,
that's actually
yeah.
hardwired into the
Yeah, but
telephone.
I don't wanna call the outside world.
Well, that's a completely separate issue, Ted.
You know, by the way, I remember we made a joke, a couple weeks ago about, kids not knowing how to use a rotary phone,
Yeah.
and yeah, yeah. I saw there was a YouTube. Now, I don't know if it's a setup or not, but they had I guess it were parents gave these 2 kids a rotary phone and
Yes.
a phone number. Have you seen this?
Yes, I've seen it.
4 minutes.
Yes.
And almost I mean, it looked like they were just about to get there, but they didn't.
Well, you know what I
The one kid just sort of walked away. He's like, "I'm done."
what the video I saw, the two kids looked at it as if they were trying to like defuse a bomb
Yeah,
that was
right,
ticking.
exactly. Yeah, right. They're like, "What?" Is it the one with one of the kids has a hat on backwards?
I don't remember. I just
Yeah,
remember the two of
yeah.
them looking at each other completely dumbfounded, like, what do we do next?
Yeah, right, yeah. It was pretty funny, yeah. But, on the other hand, I'm sure there are things that, you know, currently that if we tried to do them, we would be, we would
Hence many of the
certainly.
technical issues with
Yeah, right,
with this fine podcast.
right. That's right.
So Ted, I have a mini grump and then a full on grump this week.
Uh-oh.
So here's the mini grump. Last weekend, the EP was watching the Golden Globes.
Yeah.
And I had not realized this, but there is now a category in the Golden Globes for the best podcast.
Yeah, I know, yeah, yeah.
Ted, the Grumpy
I
Brothers
know.
Sports Show was not nominated.
No kidding. Well, you do know that this is just all it's all Hollywood, just giving themselves another award.
Yes,
That's
yes,
all it is.
yes, 100%. On to
I
the
mean I mean, look, if there was a podcast that was done by, somebody that was unrelated to Hollywood in
yes.
any fashion, that was getting, 1,000,000 listens a week or whatever, you think there's any chance that it would get nominated?
No,
But I mean, 1,000,000 listens doesn't mean anything, but, there's no chance. None.
no.
0.
I will say this, Ted. I don't listen to their podcast regularly, but I think one of the nominated shows was the one with Jason Bateman,
Yeah.
uh, Arnott. What's his first name? Is he Jason also?
Will.
And Will
Will
Arnott,
Arnett.
yeah,
Yeah.
and Sean Lewis, the guy
Yeah, right.
from Will and Grace, and they are legitimately funny together. Did you see them on the award show when they came out, the three of them?
Honestly, I haven't watched an award
So
show
there
in
was a
10
funny
years.
little bit, and Jason Bateman clearly said something like, being a little wonky or a little upset about something, and Will Arnott says, "See, look what you just did. You just made this all about you."
Right.
And Sean Lewis says something, "Hey, Jason, I love your stuff. You're great. I watched I watched Ozark. I thought it was great." And Jason Bateman goes, "Uh-huh, uh-huh. What was it about?" And Sean Lewis goes, "It was about 3 seasons too long." But
Wow.
that was a good line.
That is
Uh,
a good one, yeah.
but the real grump is this, Ted. Like many professionals, I'm on LinkedIn,
Yeah,
and this past week, I think that's actually on Friday, I saw a post from someone in London saying that one day here recently was Go Trouserless Day in London.
yeah,
And they had pictures and videos of various men and women without pants on,
yeah,
out in public.
yeah, gotcha.
Okay. Now, Ted,
When you say no pants, are we talking complete commando or
no, no, no. They would have their underwear on, but
yeah,
nothing
okay,
else.
right, yeah.
Okay.
That's gotta be a little chilly. Okay.
Okay. So, Ted, here's my problem with this whole thing. I don't see it. I do not need to see a bunch of 40 and 50-year-old
No,
men
no,
showing their briefs
no,
and the appropriate things that go when you see the briefs. I
no,
don't need to see that.
no, no. Nobody does. No,
It's not good for anybody.
no.
And the men were all so happy to be walking around with their you know what showing. I don't
Idiots. Okay.
that I thought that the new anti-free speech laws in Great Britain were bringing down that great country. No, no. It is the Go Trouserless Day that is the death knell for
Maybe
that fine country.
is that a response to the no the free speech problems? I got your free speech right
Right
here.
here. Oh, that's
Oh.
very good.
I
I
mean, I
I
don't yeah, I don't know. I mean, they do things a little differently over there, and their sense of humor is very different than but yeah.
well, yeah, and God bless a 45-year-old man that's a little overweight, wearing his tidy whities, feeling perfectly fine in public, showing it all.
Are they going to work that way?
Yes, they were like, Ted, in London they call it the Tube.
Yeah, right, right.
They're
Yeah.
standing next to the Tube station, and they're like, hey, and they're waving, and they're all happy, and
Do they have, like, a suit top on, some of them, or
um
is it just casual Friday kind of
no, I
thing?
think it's like they were clearly dressed going to work. So some of them had like dress shirts. I don't know if they
Okay.
had ties on, but yeah.
Alright.
These were
Okay.
professional, these were somewhat professional men going off to work without any pants on. I've
Alright.
heard of casual Friday, but
That's a little
that's taking it a little too far.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, it is.
Somebody said you walk in the office and the guy goes, Bob,
No,
that's
I
just
think
too
that's what it
casual.
is. I think that's what it is too. In some ways, they might go, "Hey, you gotta go. We're not having this."
Yeah.
And they're like, "Okay, I'm taking the day off." Yeah.
Yeah. All right, here we go, Ted. You
But
ready?
it's not senior skip day, but it
No,
yeah.
but they were skipping to work.
Yeah, yeah.
All right,
Okay.
here we go. Hold on.
I'll bet King Charles had his drawers on.
I bet he did. I saw a video the other day of some guy who clearly served as like a manservant or whatever for King
Yeah.
Charles, and he said, he's become so used to having everybody waiting on him hand
Yeah.
over foot that literally when he was working one day and he was not in the same room with the king at that point, but the king calls him and says, "I just dropped my pen. Can you come in and pick it up?"
Yeah. Nice. Yeah. Yeah. That's called they're in service. That's
Yes, they
that's what
are.
the staff is. They're in service.
All right,
Don't
Ted.
wanna leave the service.
No, they don't.
Yeah.
No.
Did you see, "Hey, pick up your own pen. I'm not in service."
I'm watching Downton Abbey. I'm watching videos on my phone of Trouserless Day.
Yeah,
Get
right,
your own
yeah.
phone. Get your own pen, bub.
Alright, alright. Anyway,
Hey, Chuck,
yeah,
bend over
Chuck,
and pick
yeah. Chuck, yeah.
it.
Charlie, listen.
I've had
Alright.
enough of in service.
Yeah, right.
All right, here we go, Ted. The Broncos earned the number one seed in the AFC
Yeah.
this season. So here's a Broncos question. Who is the all-time franchise leader in receiving yards and touchdowns?
Receiving touchdowns?
And receiving yards. He's got them both.
Shannon Sharp.
Number 3 on the list, Ted.
I thought I'd sneak one in there.
That was the first name that came to my mind.
Well, I'm trying to think of a. They've had a lot of decent. I'm drawing a blank on Bronco wide receivers, or is it a running back?
No, it's a wide receiver.
Okay, Charlie Johnson.
I don't even remember Charlie Johnson.
I don't either, but I just thought Charlie Johnson.
Hold on, Ted. For that, you get the.
Yeah, yeah. Well, you know.
All right, Ted. Rod Smith.
Oh wow. Well, it's not far off from Charlie Johnson.
He played 183 games from 1995 through 2006, had
Okay.
11,389 yards
Oh, I think I remember him now.
68
Yeah,
touchdowns.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
Quiet guy, if I remember
yeah,
correctly.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
And not a lot of post catch first down.
Celebrations. No,
Yeah,
no.
yeah,
He was the anti Terrell Owens, Ted.
yeah. Right. Yeah.
Um, or Ocho Cinco. Number 2 on the list, Demarius Thomas.
Oh, okay. Yeah, yeah.
125 games from 2010 to 2018, 9,055 yards, 60 touchdowns. Number 3 is Shannon Sharp, 8,439 yards, 55 touchdowns. Here's a name, Ted, that you're going to love.
Yeah.
Lionel Taylor.
Oh wow. That's AFL.
That is AFL. 60, how many games? I didn't write it down, but he played from 60 to 66, 6,872 and 44 touchdowns. And then a current player, Cortland Sutton, has 6,357 and 39 touchdowns. So there you go.
There is a I thought who am I thinking? Oh, I'm thinking of Charlie Joyner. That's who I was thinking
Right,
of.
right.
Yeah, but
Yeah,
he
yeah.
didn't play for that. Or if he did, he didn't play long for them.
And it's interesting.
He played for the
The top
Chargers.
the top 4 are the top 4 in receiving yards and touchdowns.
Okay.
Interestingly enough, Sutton is number 6 on the touchdown list. Ahead of him on touchdowns is Ed McCaffrey.
Yeah, okay. Yeah. Yeah, they
Now
used him around goal line stuff. Yeah.
big target. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I hadn't remembering being had not remembering him being that productive. Now he is Christian's uncle, I think, or is
I
he the
think
father?
he might be his father. I
Can't
I
remember.
honestly don't know. Yeah.
Okay. All right, let's go to the college championship game being played tomorrow night with 15-0 Indiana Hoosiers favored by 7.5. And we're going to do the Valhalla room later for this one, but they're favored by 10.5 over the number 10
10 and a
seeded
half or 7.5? You
7.
gave
I'm sorry, 7 and a
okay.
half over the 10 seeded Miami
Okay.
Hurricanes at
Okay.
13-2. Ted, one advantage for and I don't know how much of advantage this is. I'm hoping that their fans will show out, but the game is being played there in Miami. So it
Yeah.
is basically a home game for the Miami Hurricanes. Um, Ted, you asked in one of our discussions, I think last week, about how did they lose 2 games?
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, based on what you've seen in the playoff, how did they lose 2 games?
Okay. So here's some interesting information for you, Ted. Those 2 losses were 24-21 to Louisville and a 26-20 overtime loss to SMU. Since that SMU loss, they are 7-0 with an average score of just under 31 points to 12 points. And Ole Miss has been the only team that scored more than 17 points in that time. Okay. Now,
Yeah.
here are some interesting facts. In the Louisville loss, Miami was limited to 63 rush yards and Beck had 4 interceptions.
That'll do it.
Yep. Then against SMU, they put up 433 total yards, but had 12 penalties and Beck had another 2 interceptions. So without seeing the games,
Right.
I think you can pretty much understand what was happening.
They're shooting
They
themselves in the foot. Yeah.
right, exactly. And they almost did it last week against Ole Miss.
Yes. Yeah. The penalties at the end. Yeah.
But to your point, but Ted, in that span, they've been averaging 154 rush yards per game.
Right. Right. I mean, because
I
they
think,
look great on the ground. Yeah.
against Indiana, there were times that they were there was 3 yards before anybody was even around the running back.
Against Ole Miss.
Against Ole Miss. I'm sorry, against Ole
Yeah.
Miss.
Yeah.
So the offensive line was just basically manhandling. Now, I remember when I watched the Indiana game against Oregon, I can't remember. That might have been, I guess McAvoy did that game as the analyst. And he made the comment that Indiana's defensive linemen are small, but very quick and very good at getting into gaps and getting penetration.
Okay.
If the Miami offensive line can bash them, that's the key to the game to me.
Well, yeah, I mean, it's always the key to every game, right? Or a key is is line play. Who dominates the line? Because to me, this there's that's one piece. There's also the piece of, is Beck going to be the Louisville game, or is he going to be like he's been lately? And on the other side, can Miami make Mendoza move his feet
Hmm.
before he throws? I mean, I'm not saying he can't throw on the run, but he's really good at, planting his back foot and stepping into it, and it goes. He may not have Beck's arm, but he throws it where he wants to throw it. A lot harder to do when you're running around.
I just think that, and you and I are kind of saying the same thing. If they ask Beck to throw, if Beck throws 20 times or less, Miami could win the game.
If he plays a full game and throws fewer than 20 passes, Miami is probably putting up 200 some odd yards on the ground. Yeah.
See, I think that that's the key to the game because I think you limit the number of possessions.
Yeah.
You play smash mouth and football, and I think the if you limit the number of possessions, the combination of the two defensive linemen, Bain and Messidor, they're going to have a few possessions where they just wreck
Right.
the offense and get off the field.
Yeah. I mean,
So if you
if
limit Indiana to 8 or 10 possessions over the game and you get them off the field in 3 or 4 of them,
Yeah, I look at, what I was thinking about was, if Miami has confidence in their defensive backs
mm,
early,
mm,
because I don't know that Indiana has, they don't have the Ohio State wide
no,
receivers.
no, they
These
don't.
guys run routes,
And
and
Serrata's big and knows how
yeah,
to play and sort of how to play box out to get
yeah,
50-50
and
balls.
Mendoza is, he puts it where he wants to put it and where only they can catch it for the most part. So if I'm Miami, I might be bringing the house early.
Hmm.
If I think that my defensive backs are too athletic for them to, for them to, that they can cover Indiana's receivers one on one, I'm coming after Mendoza to make his feet move. That's what that if I'm the defensive coordinator for Miami, that's what I think. I mean, they know a lot more about it than I do. I'm just looking at it superficially from miles and miles away. But I think I want to make Mendoza move as much as I can when he wants to throw, and rely on the athletic ability of my defensive backs to cover their guys.
So I think in this run, and scoot in the middle more, Ted. I think in this run of in the playoffs, I think Miami has shown that they have maybe not Ohio State level of talent. I mean, I saw a mock draft today the other day, Ted, that I think 4 of the top 10 picks in the upcoming draft are Ohio State. No, 4 of the top 17 are Ohio State players.
Okay.
Now, hold on, let me take it back. You got Arvell Reese, you've got Carnell Tate, you've got Sonny Styles, you got Caleb Downs, and you've got the big defense tackle. You got 5 of the top 17 players in this draft this year are projected to be from Ohio State. I don't know Miami has that level of athlete, but my bet would be that if you just measured pure athleticism of the Indiana players and the Miami players, I would Miami can out athletic them.
Yeah, I mean, I again don't know. I just think that they're probably a little deeper in terms of that athletic ability, right?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know how deep Indiana is. It I look at it a little bit like, a general picture is, who wins? Indiana's experience, precision, you know, discipline. They don't take penalties. They don't beat themselves they don't turn the ball over, versus Miami's just athletic ability, their speed, and uh, the big play. They can go on any play.
The other thing is there are a lot of, I think most of what I've heard is, can Miami stay in the game? Can Miami give them a game? Because Indiana has looked so powerful against Alabama and Indiana.
Yeah,
People are basically handing them the trophy.
yeah, yeah.
Miami's got a free roll on this. They
They're
can
at
come out and play.
home, right.
They can come out and play fast and loose. And if they lose 34-21, everybody will go, no, that's what everybody expected.
Hey,
But
look,
to your
they could get beat by what TCU did to Georgia, and everybody you could go, "Well, okay, they had a good run. They
Yeah.
really weren't that good, but they had a good run." But, go ahead, I'm sorry.
But I think the difference is Georgia had the better athletes than
Yeah, right,
TCU. In
well, yeah,
this case, I think Miami may have the better athletes than
right,
than Indiana. And if Miami can avoid the turnovers and avoid the 15-yard penalties,
right, right, right.
not
The
give
Yeah,
Indiana free yards, I just think, and I think you run the. I kind of like a combination of our strategies. Offensively, we run the ball, take the ball out of Beck's hands. Fletcher's the best offensive player they have.
yeah.
Throw a lot of little bubble screens and jet sweeps to Tony. See if your
Take it
offensive
take
line
it
can mash him.
take a deep shot every now and again.
Okay.
Well,
And
no, 2nd and 2 at your 40,
yeah, throw it down the field.
throw it down the field, and if it doesn't work out, it's a punt.
Right. Yeah, and then defensively, I actually like the idea of coming in after and playing one on one.
Well, at
I-
least at the beginning,
yeah,
let's see if we can't move his feet, and let's see if those wide receivers can beat our defensive backs. Because I don't know, maybe they can, maybe they can't, but we're gonna find out. They
yeah.
got nothing to lose,
No, it's
absolutely nothing to
yeah,
lose.
yeah. All right, let's go over to the NFL, Ted. Now, the Bills and the 49ers have both played two games since our last podcast. So we're going to combine both of their games from the last 2 weeks because they each won last week and then
Yeah.
lost yesterday. So we'll kind of combine them all together. And let's begin with the Bills. So the Bills last week go on the road and win 27-24 over the Jaguars. If you had told me before the game the Jags would outgain the Bills 154-79 on the ground, I would tell you the Jags could win or should win the game.
Well, they should have kept running the ball. They had 154 yards and you lost by 3. They weren't down 27 to nothing.
No.
You
Hey,
know,
Allen had to come down and,
right,
and, Allen showed in that last drive why he's the best player in the league. Everything was right on the money.
right.
He never was flustered. It was just sort of perfection right down the field. And then conversely, you give the ball to Lawrence, first pass and interception, game over.
Yeah,
We we
I
talked
mean,
about the fact that Lawrence had to play clean and he didn't.
yeah, but I looked at the stats and AT Travis, ATN
ETN, yeah.
ATN, he was at I mean, he had one really big run, but for the game, he still averaged like 6 yards a carry, or if you took I'm sorry, if you took that one out, he averaged 4 runs a carry. So why aren't you giving him the ball more? At least a few more times. I think he ran it like 20 times. Give him the ball 5, 6 more times, because at a minimum, if he's getting 4 yards a pop, right? You might extend, even if you don't score, you might extend a couple of drives, eat up the clock, and don't give Allen any time, limit his opportunities to beat you.
So what we were saying with
Yeah.
Mendoza. Now, yesterday the Bills go on the road to into Denver, into Mile High,
Yeah.
and I was surprised. To me, it was a sign of disrespect that people really didn't take the Broncos seriously. The Bills were actually favored going into that game. That was at only 1.5 point spread. It was basically a pick 'em, but still, when was the last time
No.
the number one seed was an underdog at home in the divisional round? Um, the Broncos win 33-30 in overtime in a very good game. I really enjoyed that game. They lose Bo Nix for the remainder of the playoffs with a broken bone in the ankle. Um, let's start with the interception in overtime, Ted. The 50-50 play.
Yeah, right, right. Yeah.
Do you agree with the call?
Well, I mean, my understanding was always that if the receiver has if it's tied up like a jump ball in basketball, it's the offense's ball. So when you watch that play on replay, it seems to me you have to determine, did the receiver have the ball when his legs hit the ground? If he did, then it's his ball to me. I'm not sure he did. So I you know, I mean, as far as on the call that happened so fast, he's the guy's taking, and he was shielded. He didn't really. I don't think he had a really good look at it. But the replay didn't seem to. I don't know. I mean, I think it was. I think it was okay. I mean,
Okay.
it's okay call. It they could have it whichever way they could have gone. You could argue the other way.
Yeah.
So
Now, I I feel badly for the Bills because at one point they showed up on the screen the last 5 years of the
right.
playoffs. Four times they've lost to Chiefs and Mahomes. And the other time they lost to Burrow and the Bengals. And I heard a lot of people say, "Hey, this is finally the year for Josh Allen. He doesn't have to go through any
Yes.
other
Yes.
elite quarterbacks." Um,
Should have been. Yeah.
Now you feel badly that such a huge play was a big factor in the game, but you know what? The Broncos still only got the ball like on their 25, 30-yard line after that play.
Right.
So the Bills defense still had the opportunity to stop them. Now, the second pass interference call on Tre'Davious White down by the 5-yard line, when they showed it down in replay, he definitely got there early.
Right.
The one before that, I can't remember. I think it was Teron Johnson, on I can't remember who the Broncos receiver was. But to me, that was the exact same situation as like a play or two earlier when they went over to Gene Steratore and Gene Steratore said, "Hey, that's just good football. Two guys fighting for the ball." You remember there was a play about two plays
Yeah.
earlier
Right.
on the sideline where they didn't call it. And then I don't understand why that first pass interference call, because to me, that was the exact same play that was not a pass interference two plays before previously.
Well, I mean, it's probably the angle that they're looking at it from, that the guy is looking at the official's looking at it from. That's that because you could probably go through 100 calls, right? And just depends on which angle, where he's standing in relation to the player, and all that. That's where replay can come in, but you can't do it after every call. But the thing about the first one that you don't like is that's the same play Bosa got 15. He got roughing the passer anyway.
Yeah.
So they would have got the first down.
I
They
get
would
it,
have
but
gotten
in
15
the
yards
NFL, the pass
anyway.
interference
Well,
is
that's a
such an
bad rule.
onerous
Yeah, that's a
result.
bad rule. They really should. I mean, I know it's geared because they want points, but it should be the college rule. Just take it back to the line of scrimmage and give them 15
Now, I
or
was not
20. If you want to give them 20, give them
okay.
20. Whatever. Yeah.
Um, I was not a huge Bo Nix after his 18th year of college
Right.
football when he
Yeah.
came in the NFL, and there have been times, particularly this season, and I remember the 10-7 debacle win over the Raiders that was unwatchable offensive football. There have been a lot of people, I think, particularly after that game, that looked at it and said, "Yeah, he's not that good. It's Sean Payton's coaching. It's this, it's that." I thought Bo Nix, other than the one interception where he kind of didn't see the
Yeah.
defensive
Right.
lineman back out, other than that, I thought he played really well. He used his feet to make off to get first downs. He made some really good throws, particularly he made one particular a third down throw on about a 3rd and 12, where he threw a deep in route that I thought was really good for a first down. I I am coming around to Bo Nix as a real franchise quarterback. The next 12, 15 years, the Broncos have their quarterback.
The thing about him is, even though he played a lot of college football, he still hasn't played 40 games yet in the pros.
Hmm.
So he should be getting better for the
Hmm.
next couple years. I mean, Josh Allen made a lot of bad throws his first 40 games. I'm sure that the coaching staff were pulling out their hair many times, or, things didn't go the way they wanted to. So that's any of them, or for the most part, that's any quarterback. It takes, whatever, 2, 3 years to really, figure it all out. And that's if you have a coaching staff that's stable. You know,
Right.
eh, you know. So Nick says he should be getting better. He should, there should be improvement for, even next year he should be better.
Um, so last week, the Bills' top-rated rush offense faced the number one rush
Yeah.
defense in the Jags. This week, they faced the number two rush defense in the
Yeah.
Broncos. Ted, the run game was on. The Bills outgained the Broncos 449 to 349 in total yards. On the ground, 183 to 70. Had 28 first downs to 22, were 11 for 16 on third and fourth down conversions and had the ball for almost 41 minutes compared to 29 for the Broncos.
Yeah, but the number is 4.
And that number refers to?
Turnovers.
Actually, it's 5, Ted, is what
5,
I have.
okay,
5.
okay.
Yeah. And, I feel badly
Oh, yeah,
for,
I forgot about the 1 fumble. Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah,
yeah,
okay.
I feel badly for Allen on the play at the end of the first half because that
Yes.
was a huge result.
You
That
don't
basically
know you
gifted
don't know
them
how
3 points.
right, you
Gifted them
don't
3
know.
points.
I mean, it turns out it's a tie game. You don't know if it plays out exactly the same way.
I get it.
Eh,
But Ted,
but it does put them theoretically, at a minimum, it puts them in overtime.
what I don't understand is I understand Josh Allen is a great quarterback, and every time you give him he has the ball in his hands, you should take a shot or play aggressively. I get that. But Ted, there were 16 seconds when they got the ball.
Yeah.
Go to halftime, get a Gatorade and a slice of orange and come back out and figure it out in the second half. You know, Patrick Mahomes had that one time where he went on 13 yards and got the field goal. So I guess and it happened to the Bills.
Yeah.
So maybe Sean McDermott is saying, "Hey, now it's our turn to do something crazy." But he didn't. But Allen doesn't have Tyreek Hill.
And Travis Kelce and all the other guys that the
Well, he
Chiefs
has
have at their
Kincaid, who's I think almost as good as. But the point is, if you remember, the first play on that series of the 13-second debacle was was Hill,
Tyreek Hill.
Tyreek Hill on one of those sort
Right,
of
slants.
slants that he then took it another 20
Right.
yards just because he runs faster than everybody else. I didn't understand the decision. It's easy to second guess at the time. I I, I feel badly for Allen because when you ask someone to put the cape on every week,
Yes. Yeah, these things will happen.
sometimes the cape falls off.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, he was pretty good for most of the game. Uh, the interception that we talked about, that's not is it his
No,
fault? No, it's not really,
hey, the receiver was one on one.
yeah.
They
Yeah,
always
I mean,
say they always say give your guy a chance. He gave his guy a chance.
yeah, yeah. And the 2 fumbles that, it I don't know. I would say I think they asked him to do a little too much, or maybe he tried to do a little too much.
I actually think the play that turned actually there were a couple plays that I thought quote unquote turned the game, but the first one was the first Bills turnover when the Broncos linebacker number 49
Yeah, I know who you're
Singleton,
talking about. Yeah.
yeah, he made an old school form tackle, helmet on the
Right.
football, and because at that point in the first possession, the Bills had just marched it right down the
Right.
field and
Right.
scored, and their first couple plays on that second drive were pretty good also. If he doesn't make that play and the Bills go down and score, make it 14-3, we might have a whole different game on our
Right,
hands.
that's right. Yeah, they might then have taken the knee at the end of the first half, and you don't have
Yeah.
the rest of those problems, so.
Now, I've heard a lot of people say if the Bills went out, Sean McDermott is on the hot seat.
Uh, yeah. Yeah, I mean, I guess you could, but on the other hand, you have to look around and say, if we fire him, who's better? Who's out
That's
there that's
that's
better?
my point exactly. And I think their general manager Brandon Bean, I think the
Yeah,
gentleman's
yeah,
name is,
yeah, yeah.
I think has done a really good job of assembling that team after he's got $55 million put into Josh
Right,
Allen. But
right.
I think his draft strategy is very, very simple this offseason. He needs a wide receiver
Yeah.
and he needs front seven defensive linemen to stop the run.
Well, they lost Oliver during that game, so that didn't help them. Yeah, but yeah, I mean that seems like a pretty good plan. Yeah, they're not far away,
You
and
know,
I mean Kansas City's probably not going to be next year, not going to be
I don't
involved.
think so.
So
Ted, I love Dalton Kincaid as a tight end. I think he is after Kittle with Kelsey declining and probably retiring. If you gave me a pick of all the tight ends in the league after Kittle and maybe even Kittle now because of all his injuries, I might take Kincaid first. I think he's a great player,
yeah,
and I like Knox as a second player. But Ted, they're Kincaid's their leading receiver yesterday.
yeah, their wide receiver core is lacking. Yeah,
Yeah. Ted, the other thing I'll say about the Bills, and I can't remember what his contract situation is. I'm going to I see if I can look it up really quickly here, Ted. Uh, Joey Bosa from the Ohio State University, was brought in to be the guy to
I
go
think he
get the
signed a
passer.
one he signed a 1-year deal, I think.
Okay. So, Ted, in his 15 games that he played this year, he had 5 sacks.
Yeah.
And then in the 2 playoff games, he had as many sacks as I did, Ted.
Yeah.
That would be 0.
And but he did add the roughing the passer
And
penalty
there you go.
that might have mattered had they not thrown the whistle down
Yeah.
or thrown the
Joey
flag
Bosa
down.
signed a 1-year, $12.6 billion contract with the Bills. Yep.
He's
Okay.
not coming back to the Bills next year, not at that number.
No.
He's
And Ted,
going.
5 sacks.
It would give you $1 million a sack, Joey.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. There you go. All right. Now let's go to the second team that had 2 games with the 49ers and the first winning over the Eagles and then yesterday losing to the Seahawks. The Niners in the win over the Eagles, Ted, the Eagles outgained the Niners 140-77 on the ground, got 2 interceptions from Quinyon Mitchell, and still lose.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, and immediately fire their offensive coordinator after the game. So, yeah. The 49ers got a little lucky. We'll just put it that way.
Why do you think they got lucky?
Well, they should have lost. They
Yes.
got outgained. They created, they gave up turnovers.
Well,
The Eagles are supposed to win those games,
yes.
right?
Okay. I think, and we were laughing about this. I was laughing about this with the Philly correspondent a couple weeks ago, that when the Eagles in the regular season had lost like 3 games in a row or
Right.
something like that, I can't remember. There's a guy out in Philly named Howard Eskin.
Right.
He's one of the radio guys.
Yeah.
I think it was Howard Eskin went on the radio and said, Tanner McKee should be the starting quarterback for the Eagles over Jalen Hurts. And I, like everybody else, poo-pooed that. Jalen Hurts has been great in 2 Super Bowls. He's been the MVP in the winning Super Bowl. He has earned the right to continue to be the starter for the foreseeable future. But Ted, the Eagles passing game just not good enough.
No, but that's why you signed Saquon Barkley.
Okay,
And you
but
should
Ted,
hand
but
him the
Ted,
ball.
but hold on, Ted. You gave AJ Brown, I think, $25 million a year.
Yeah.
You gave Devontae Smith $18 million a year. Dallas Goedert is, I think, a $10 million a year player. Jahan Dotson, I think, could be a capable third receiver. They've got a lot of weapons.
Yeah, they had some line issues though this year. Hurts was never, he's not Mahomes.
As a what?
Thrower.
As a thrower.
He doesn't throw the ball, Now,
He's an average NFL passer.
Now, does he read the coverages correctly? And I'm quite sure that AJ Brown is barking at him in the huddle on a regular basis. That doesn't help. There's a lot going on. They gave Hurts way too much money. They lean on him too much. But I think that a lot of that can be rectified by getting, a little bit younger or maybe bring in an experienced guy and help solidify their offensive line and making Barkley the centerpiece of their attack. I mean, that's why you gave him a lot of money. Use him. You don't have to run him every play. You can throw it out on a swing pass and get him in space and let him put his foot down and go downhill and all the other good
run
stuff.
north-south. Yeah. Ted, I think AJ Brown's played his last game with the Eagles.
It seems unlikely that he would be back. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now,
but you got to have it. I mean, are they going to just cut him? They certainly want to trade him. Get something.
I would think you could get some value for him. There's, hey, Ted, we're going to talk about the 49er offense. They need a really good wide receiver. Of course, if Ayuk ever comes back again, they have Ricky Pearsall.
Buffalo could use a wide receiver.
Buffalo could use him. Yeah. I don't know if Buffalo could fit him in their salary cap, but that's a whole separate issue.
Right. But yeah,
so Ted, even with the debacle of 41-6 yesterday to the Seahawks, I still think that if you were giving a co-coaching award for the best coaching staff of the season, it unequivocally goes to Kyle Shanahan and Robert Saleh. Kyle Shanahan without Ayuk the entire season, with Kittle in and out.
Yeah.
McCaffrey played most of the season without the starting quarterback for a good chunk of the season. Shanahan does a great job of scheming guys open that have no way of getting open otherwise. I mean,
Right.
Jawan Johnson, I think, is just a little bit faster than I am, but just a little bit.
Well, yeah, maybe just a hair. Yeah.
Um,
But
he does
but
such a
he can't go up the middle in the, wishbone like you did.
um, and Ted, I think they overpaid for Purdy. You think they overpaid for Purdy,
Yeah,
but I
yeah,
will say two things about Purdy. And Tommy said this last week, and I thought it was a great point. One, he's accurate with the ball.
yeah.
But one of the things I love about Purdy that I think is he does better maybe than anybody else better in the league, he throws with anticipation. He's
I
throwing
think he
that
has
ball.
to. I think he
Yeah.
has to.
But he does such a great job of getting that ball in that little opening.
Yeah.
And it looks like they're wide open, but when he throws it, they're not wide open.
Right, right. Yeah,
And Ted, from a defensive standpoint, they have probably $40 million tied up in Fred Warner and Nick Bosa.
yeah.
Neither of those guys played like after the third game of the season.
Yeah, Warner had a bad, what, ankle
He
or
had
I think it
ankle injury, and I
yeah.
think Bosa might have hurt his knee again. But I love the way that defense played. Salah got a job interview, and I think he should say to them, "Let's just throw out everything I did in the Jets because the Jets are a cursed
Well, yeah,
organization."
yeah, well, no, if you're looking at somebody who coached the Jets, you pretty much have to say, that's
Yeah. Now, the 49er and Seahawk game yesterday. In week 18, the Seahawks put a pretty impressive 13-3 win over the Niners, limited them to less than 200 yards total yards. Yesterday, 41-6
yeah,
beat down.
yeah,
Um, Last week, when we were previewing games, I said of the 8 teams that we were previewing that week, one of them, the Patriots, were in the top 10 of my 8 top
right.
stats. You know the other team that's in there?
Seahawks.
Seahawks.
Yeah, they're a good team. It's a good
And the
team.
Seahawks, Ted, if you put a ninth stat in there of the fourth toughest schedule, which they
They're in
had,
there.
strength of
Yeah.
schedule, they're the number one team in the NFL by
Okay.
a long shot,
Okay.
statistically. Um,
Well,
is,
I
is there
don't know
anything
what.
that not to like about the Seahawks after watching that yesterday?
Well, their last 2 games have been against the 49ers, right?
Right.
So, clearly, they
They
have the
figured out how to beat
49ers.
them.
Yeah, right. So now we're gonna have to see if they can beat either the Bears or the Rams. But their defense is against the 49ers has been unbelievably good. I mean, Purdy had particularly in the second half, while he played in the second half. But even towards the end of the first half, he had no time. He had no time.
I
They were
I
on
actually
top of him.
I actually thought Purdy played pretty well
Yeah.
considering the
Yeah, considering
circumstances.
what happened to
He
him. Yeah.
moved well without the ball. I remember one time he was running right and he kind of found the guy open to the left
Yeah,
for the
yeah,
first
yeah,
down. He made a
yeah.
couple of other he made a couple really nice throws. But Ted, with Kittle, they were limited offensively.
Yeah, right.
Without him, it was Christian McCaffrey and a bunch of guys.
Running around. Yeah.
Right. Um,
There look, the but see, I don't think I don't think Kittle mattered enough. I mean, it might not have been 41-6. It might have
no,
been 41-10 or 41-13 or,
yeah, you're right.
whatever.
Yeah.
But, uh, that defense just overwhelmed their offensive line yesterday.
Now, Kyle. By the way, Ted, we talked about the Bills wide receivers. Here are the 49ers wide receiver totals for yesterday, Ted. As a group,
Yeah.
3 catches, 24 yards.
Cooper Kupp did better than that, and he's essentially a possession receiver now.
Yeah. Kyle Shanahan has been the 49er head coach for 9 seasons.
Yeah.
The first 2 seasons were rebuild jobs.
Right, right.
Okay. The last 7 years when they've been a really good playoff team, he's 72-45 over those 7 seasons. That's a 61% winning percentage. And he's been to the Super Bowl twice. If the Niners want to remain a relevant team, they've got to do well. They've got to get their wide receivers.
Yeah, they gotta get
But
they
the
gotta
other
get
thing,
yeah.
but I tell you, the other thing they have to do, Ted, when they were a great team, they ran the ball well.
Right.
This team did not run the ball well. Christian McCaffrey had 11 carries, 35 yards.
Yeah,
Now, I know you're going to tell me it's a good defensive line,
no,
but they
well,
didn't run the ball that well the whole season.
Yeah, okay, if you're looking at the whole season, yeah. I mean, because just based on yesterday, they were down so fast. I mean, the opening kickoff and, yeah, they were just in the hole the whole game, so running the ball sort of got tossed
But
out the
Ted,
window.
it was 17-3.
Yeah,
Niners had the ball.
yeah.
And even Tommy said if they could push it in here,
Right, right.
make it 17-10, go in at halftime
Yeah,
17-10, it's a game.
it's a different game, yeah.
Not Seahawks defense bowed up, they get a field goal. But if you can run the ball, they've been one two dimensional. And like we've
Yeah.
talked about, I like Purdy is growing on me, but he's not good enough if you can't run the ball to.
No, no, he needs help. Everybody I mean, they all quarterbacks need players around them, but they're very similar to Buffalo. They need a wide receiver or 2.
Well, they need Ayuk to come back, and they need Pearsall to blossom into being a first-round pick.
Okay.
But Ted,
Alright.
that passing game is built on the play action pass to Christian McCaffrey and those over routes in between the linebackers and the safeties. Get the ball, the guy with a little bit of space, and then you can run down the field a little bit. If you can't run the ball, this
Yeah,
that gap to find that space, because Purdy's not going to throw a 20-yard out. He doesn't have the arm for that.
yeah, the thing too is improve the offensive line. Maybe you have to go get another running back.
Or at
Just
least put him in the game because
change of pace, whatever,
yeah, yeah. All right,
because
let's go.
most of these teams that are running the ball well now have 2. They
Yes.
run 2 guys.
When we talk
So,
about the Patriots, I love that
yeah.
combination of Henderson and Stevens. Let's talk about the Patriots. They put an absolute beat down 16-3 over the Chargers last week. I heard Drake May say after the game that he did not throw the ball well. But
No.
if he's upset with that performance, the Patriots have a great 10 to 15 years ahead of them. He was 17 for 29 for 268 with 1 touchdown and 1 interception. Then he ran the ball 10 times for
Yeah.
66 yards.
He didn't
If
play bad, he just didn't play he's better than that.
but if that's a bad performance,
Right, if that's the worst they get out of him, they're in business. Yeah.
exactly. Uh, I don't know how much to judge the defense because the Charger offense was so beat up. I almost feel bad about.
Justin Herbert, you talk about a guy who had no chance. He
Yeah,
really had no chance in that game.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. So we're going to find out a lot about the Patriots today because they have the Texans. We'll talk about that in a moment. Let's talk about the Texans, Ted. They use a 23-0 second half to win comfortably against the Steelers 30-6. That game went to script to me.
Yeah. Yeah.
The Texans defense was too good. They
Yeah.
allowed only 175 total yards. They got 4 sacks, held the Steelers to 2 for 14 on third down, largely because every third down was like 3rd and 10.
Right. Right. Yeah.
And the Texans defense outscored the Steelers 14-6.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, the Steelers were kinda hanging around. It was kind of like what you just said about the 49ers yesterday. At some point, if they had pushed a touchdown in the
Mm,
3rd quarter, but that right when I was thinking that, I think is when, uh, Rodgers got sacked and the guy picked it up and ran it in for a touchdown, and you're like, "Okay, this show is over."
yeah.
Um, it's it's an unfortunate end to the Tomlin era,
Hmm.
but probably one that had to happen at that point.
Yes. Yes. Now, the defense was so good, Ted, that we talked about Drake May not playing well.
Yeah, CJ
CJ
Stroud was
Stroud not only
awful.
didn't play well, but he was so loose with the ball
He was awful for the most part, yeah.
that even with them giving the ball to the Steelers 3 times, the Steelers
Yeah,
still couldn't get a touchdown. And one of the turnovers was like inside the Texans 40-yard line.
yeah, yeah.
Steelers still couldn't do anything with the ball.
Now, the Steelers' offense has been pretty anemic except when they play Baltimore. They scored points against Baltimore, but yeah.
Because Baltimore can't rush the passer.
Yeah, so maybe that's why John Harbaugh got fired too, is those that's part of the reason anyway, yeah.
Now, if I'm a Texans fan, Ted,
Yeah,
obviously I love the defense, but their rookie running back, Woody Marks, he combines with Nick Chubb in this game for 29 carries, 160 yards, and a touchdown.
yeah,
With that defense, if they run the ball like that or anything close to that,
and Stroud plays better.
right?
Average, just an average game.
Don't give it three
Right,
times.
don't turn the ball over, right, yeah,
And with Bo Nix going out with a
ankle,
broken
right,
if you put Jared Stidham
yeah.
against that Texans defense next week, Texans are going to the Super Bowl. This game
Well,
today the Texans Patriots could decide the AFC team in the Super Bowl.
that's a little cart before the horse, but I understand what you're saying. I mean, Jarrett Stidham has played in this league. It's not like they're, I did see an article this morning that somebody, it's one of these headline things. It said, should the Broncos pull in Phillip Rivers? No, 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 yeah, no. If they were going to do something stupid like that, they'd go get Drew Brees because he knows the plays.
I think I read once that with his shoulder injuries, Breeze can barely like get his arm over his shoulder
Yeah,
now.
right. Yeah, yeah. So no, but no, no, that's not how this is going to end.
No,
No.
no, no, no. All right, Ted, here we go. You ready?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's all good.
All right.
We all got there. Yeah.
All right. So Ted, going into last week, you were 25 and 22, and I was 20 and 27. You had another very good week. You went 3-1.
Yeah.
I lost both of the games that we picked differently. So I was 1-3. So you're now 7 games ahead, Ted. You're 28 and 23, and I'm 21 and 30 each. I had a little momentum, and then I got fancy, and here it's gone. Okay.
Well,
So
yeah, you took the big swing
go big,
and
go big or go home,
you
Ted.
took the big swing and like Mighty Casey, it didn't work out.
Okay, Ted. In the Ice Bowl 2 today,
Yeah.
the Rams visit Chicago.
Yeah.
And the Rams, even you know what? I put this down recently. Let me see if I can find something again to make
But
certain this.
while you're finding that, by the way,
Yeah,
the NFL, come on. This
yeah,
game should not be played at night.
yeah.
If you know it's going to be cold, you know it's going to be miserable, play it in the daytime. At
Yep.
least it's not sub-zero. Give the player. I mean, you're trying to showcase your best players or your best teams. Why are you why are you know, giving them, I mean, it's the same for everybody, but still, why are you limiting
Yeah.
their abilities by putting them in terrible weather conditions? When I
Okay.
mean,
Now,
the weather conditions would have been not great in the daytime, but now it's
so
anyway.
so Ted, on the road,
Yeah.
the Dome team is favored by 3.5. The Rams are favored by 3.5. Now,
Yeah.
the Rams have the number one team in total offense, passing, and scoring.
Yeah.
Bears cannot afford another slow start.
No. No.
The Bears defense is not good. 29th in total yards, 27th against the run, 22nd against the pass, 23rd in scoring. There's one part of me that says I think that the Rams easily put up 35. The other part of me says dome teams never play well in cold weather, and a Los Angeles team from a dome really is not ready to play in this weather.
Yeah, and you got Stafford has what, a finger injury or something on his
Right.
throwing
Last week
hand.
he
Yeah.
hit his
I
hand
don't
on
know
that.
if it's still a thing or it's not a thing, but
If they were playing this game in 60-degree weather, I'd probably lay the 3.5
if
because
they were
I
playing in
don't see I don't see the
40,
Bears. Okay, anything less than
yeah,
10,
yeah.
right? Because I don't see the Bears defense stopping the Rams
No,
offense.
no, no.
But then conversely, Ted, the Rams defense has not been good recently.
No, it has not.
And the one thing you can do, whether it's warm or cold, is run the ball, and the Bears
Yeah,
run the ball.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
So there's a lot of conflicting things
Right.
going on here.
Yeah.
Rams are favored by 3.5.
I'm gonna take the Bears and the points. They're at home. They can run. It's gonna be miserable. You know, I'm with you. Had they played it in 40-degree weather,
Mm-hmm.
30-degree weather,
Mm-hmm.
I'd Rams all day. But with what they're looking at, you got to take the Bears, I think.
You know, well, I guess it wouldn't have mattered. I was getting ready to say what would have required for this game to have been played in LA? It would have required for the Rams, one, to had a better record than the Bears, but two, to have won their division, and they didn't even win their division. So
Right. Yeah.
I was getting ready to say the loss to the Panthers in the regular season might be the reason they're playing this game in LA. I mean,
Didn't
in
help.
Chicago. Yeah. But anyway, Ted, I'm right there with you. 3.5. I could see this being a 20-17 game.
Right.
I don't think it's a high scoring game, even though the Rams have a great offense, because I just don't think the conditions are going to be good for throwing it all over the park. And
If the
I like the Bears' ability to run the ball, and the Rams' defense has not been good the last couple of
yeah,
weeks.
I think if either team gets over 24, they win.
Good point. Yeah, yeah. All right. Now we're going to go to the next game, which I'm calling the real AFC Championship game. The Texans visit the Patriots. At home, the Patriots are favored by 3. Ted, um, I love Vrabel. I love May. I love the way this team is playing. But the best unit in football, is the Texans defense.
Yeah.
You agree?
Yeah, I mean, they've been pretty good.
Is
Yeah.
there
I mean,
any is
Seahawks defense looks pretty good against the 49ers. We'll have to see him against somebody else. Yeah.
Ted? If you get a Texans Seahawks Super Bowl, the over under would be
20.
I was going to go at least 30, but point is well made. I mean, seriously, Ted.
Colts Cowboys Super Bowl 5.
Yeah, really. Chuck Howley as
Yeah,
the
right.
MVP.
Yeah.
Do you think there is a single unit, either offense or defense, that is better than the Texans defense in football?
I don't know better. The Rams offense, when it's clicking, is pretty good.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
And
Well, I can't I'm not gonna make a lot of arguments against the
now
Texans defense.
CJ Stroud, as we talked about, was horrible last week.
Yes.
His best
Yes.
receiver, Nico Collins, is out with a concussion this
Yep.
week. I think this game comes down to which of the two young quarterbacks makes a couple of big plays and avoids the bone-crushing mistake.
Yeah. The other weather may be a factor.
It
It may be snowing.
snowing up there.
Yeah. So yeah, would you say the
The
Patriots are
the
favored by?
Patriots favored by 3.
I'm with you. Defense travels. Defense plays in snow. So I think the Texans. I'll take the Texans. I think the
Uh,
Texans are going to win,
really?
but I think if CJ Stroud plays an average game and they can run the ball, I think they're going to win.
Um, I think the Patriots wide receivers are better than we give them credit for.
Yeah.
I love Henry. I love the 2 running backs, and I love Vrabel, and I love May. And there's just something about this way this team is playing. I got to do something different. I got to try and pick up
Yeah.
a game. Let's go Patriots and say Tommy will be coming back to flip the coin at the Super Bowl.
I won't be surprised. I'm just saying that defense travels.
It does. It 100% travels. And Ted, I mentioned I love the 160 rush yards against
Right.
the
Right.
against the
I don't
Steelers
think
last
they'll
week.
get that. I don't think they'll get that.
But to your point,
But if
Ted,
they get 120,
right? If they get 120 and Stroud doesn't turn it over 3 times,
right.
you're only going to score so many points against that defense.
Yeah. Again,
It's not impossible.
Yeah, particularly if the weather's bad. You might be looking at 21-17, something like that.
Yeah. Okay. So the final game is the Indiana Miami college championship game. We talked about it earlier. Indiana favored by 7.5, playing on the Hurricanes' home field.
I'm taking Miami and the point. I think Indiana will win.
Yeah.
But I think it'll be something like 35-30.
I'm there with you. I don't know that I agree, because I don't think Miami can win a game where they're asked to score, where if they allow anything more than they got to keep, they got 28 and under, and they've got a chance. I just don't see the Hurricanes scoring enough, but I agree with you. I think it's a 31-24 kind of game, and I'll take the Canes, keep it close and make it a game. Hey, maybe it's something as simple as it's 31-17, and with 30 seconds left, the Canes punch one in just to make it, to beat the spread, something like that. That wouldn't shock me.
I think Miami has to. I think for Miami to win, they have to get a defense or special teams touchdown, particularly early.
Yes. At halftime,
get momentum.
Yeah, at halftime, if it's 17-13 either way, we got a ball game.
Yeah, I just think I think a momentum big, particularly because they are essentially at home. I don't know how the tickets are divvied up, but they are essentially a home. It's essentially a home game for them.
Or how about maybe a gadget play
Yeah, something weird. Yeah,
Tony gets the ball on a reverse or a flea flicker or something like that, and they get a big play. Ted, you're channeling your prediction from TCU
yeah,
Michigan from a
right.
couple of years
Yeah,
ago,
yeah, yeah.
and they got two.
Underdogs.
They got two in
Yeah,
that game.
yeah, underdogs.
Neat.
Underdogs usually need that kind of play.
And what I keep on coming back to is they've got the athletes to compete with the
Yeah,
Indiana.
right. And if Beck doesn't have to throw it more than 25 times,
Yeah.
that limits and I think the thing at Georgia is what they always wanted him to throw it a mile or
Mm.
throw it through 3 people to get to the his guy behind the 3 people. At Miami, he doesn't have to do that because his guys are usually, uh, better athletes than the guys trying to cover him.
I
So,
keep saying ever since Stetson Bennett, ran out of eligibility, the Georgia offense has never been the same. And I never thought
no,
Stetson
that's
Bennett was
true.
a great player in college, but there it is. So there you
Well,
go.
that's your back to your Bill Walsh thing. What's the first thing the quarterbacks have to have?
Decision making and
Right.
accuracy.
Right. Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah. Right.
All right, let's go and wrap it up there for the week. Thank you to our fans for listening. Please continue to follow us here on millions.co. Also, please check us out on all of our social media platforms. We have a YouTube channel. We're also on Instagram, X, and Facebook. And you can also email us at grumpybrothersports@gmail.com. And with that, we'll say goodnight, and we promise to do better next time.